a design day for in line today for the stream. So I'll get into that in just a minute, but I actually realize I have to set up a window here for a second, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have to launch the QuickTime player. There's no reason to share the screen, really. Let me see if I can get this working. Okay, so this, yeah, we're good. So I have that ready just in case I need to draw some diagrams to showcase what I'll be working on, and that should be good there. I am in the middle of prepping my setup here, and actually, so what I've got ready here, I've got the library here, the stylo library, and I'm going to have a REPL here with the library loaded, which I can do here quickly. No such namespace S. That means I have a mistake here. Oh, it's spec. Right. Well, I may as well copy that part into the draw namespace here. Give that a shot. Oh, that's also wrong. I don't need it there. I need to pop it in the actual file right here. And doing that, saving that so it'll tangle. Let me see what I can do here. Yes, so now let me try load that again. Okay, good. So we're in the draw here, so we can draw things like normal, polygon. Yeah, okay. So we've got the REPL ready to go here. I'm gonna get the file itself set up here, but I actually have to create the file now first. So let me go ahead and do that. Let's do ringframe.md. A gymnastic rings frame design. So that's that file, and down here I'm gonna have I'm gonna make a new file, ringframe.clj, and that is going to be Clojure mode, like you would expect. This, I can kind of collapse all that there, and this is gonna have figure 1. Let's make it figure 500 by 300, scale 20, and and its description is that's my bad, placeholder figure. And here we're gonna make a square. Yeah, 2. That should work. Here we can make the executable section here where we do load file in this file here, and we go source stylo draw cljc like that. Is that really the smart? Let me try let me try something a little different actually in this spot here. Let me do a namespace ring frame the document, and we'll require stylo draw as refer all, and we'll just see if that can work. And put a figure placeholder here. Fig 01, and that, by the way, we do need to load file work/ringframe.clj. That should pull in all these figures here. Okay, so that is that file. Now I have to see if I can make it work. So let's try to use shell here. Yeah. And move the shell to this window. And all I really need here work. Oh, actually, let's do stylo watch work/ring frame. Let's do it like this. Okay. Let me try it. Okay. Let me see. Oh boy. Let's try that. Okay. So that watcher's going. Let's close that. Let's make a change to it. And we'll go here and see if it builds, or if it like detects a change at all. Okay, so it detects changes, which is good, but there's obviously a problem here. No such file or directory. So let me how did I do this here? Load file work / that. Oh, maybe I didn't save this file. Let's go. Let's see now what happens. Perfect. Well, perfect. That eliminated the problem here. It's definitely loading. Unable to resolve symbol square in this context. That would be because SQ is a function in, I was using stuff for quilt patterns, and the square function is there. So let's see what does exist here. Oh, I have rectangle, right? Yes. So rectangle has a width and a height. So let's do 2, 2. Yeah. Okay. So let's use that as a placeholder. Let's give that a try. Let me see if that builds. Okay, so we have an HTML file there now, and now let's go live server this. That's weird. Dynamic library, DYLD, library not loaded. Image not found. Really? That's a pain. I don't know why that happened. Node is broken. Other things are working, right? Yep. Well, at least one other thing is working. Well, let's go. Let's just copy paste this and see what shows up, if anything. Let's see here. You know, sometimes there's unexpected problems. Let's try brew upgrade node. Let's see if that works. Kind of ridiculous. In the meantime, while that's running, I can navigate to the file and just have a look at it directly. Work/ring frame.html. There we go. Okay, so we have some basics here. Let's inspect this element, have a look at why it's showing up that way. Pardon me. So it has no fill. Right, that'll be because, oh, the fill is there. There's a fill black. If I change the fill to clear, fill none. Fill none is what I'm looking for a little more. And the actual, if I do a class, if I get rid of this fill entirely, class equals ln clear, that is the, yeah, that's exactly what I want actually. So why did I, let me go over here, draw some shapes here. Let me change this. Yeah, let's change it to have the same setup as this part here, right? Instead. So I go like this instead. So there's that class there. Yeah. Good. Should be okay. So now, right, refresh that. Oh, it didn't build. There we go. Okay. So that's good. Okay, node seems to be working now. Now let's try live server and see if it just works again. There we go. Okay, so I'm in the work folder, got a bunch of stuff in there that I still haven't cleaned out. This is what I'm looking at. Okay, now we're back to a reasonable setup. Okay, so what am I working on? I am working on, maybe I'll draw it in a minute, but let me, oh, where did I go? What did I do? I have, oh yes, it's like this. I have a pair of gymnastic rings that I want to use more, and so in order to do that I need to make a minor, basically this sort of thing, and they're great. They're a lot of fun to use, but I need to make a spot for the gym, and I kind of want to make a spot in my apartment where I can have them so I can do some basic pull-ups and muscle-ups and all kinds of, you know, upper body work. So if I do freestanding pull-up bar frames, this is kind of what I'm working on today. Some variation of equipment like this. So that's what I'll call a A-frame style. This is a T at the bottom style, which is a pretty nice setup actually. So I want to design something that I'm going to build at the metal shop It's just going to be, it's going to be fairly straightforward. See, maybe even something kind of like that. So that'll be the design work for the day. We'll see how far I can get on stream and see what I can finish off stream. So you can even make things that work with some pieces of wood, as you can see here. And this is a nice simple metal one that's got an adjustable idea on it there. There's a pin in there. Something like that seems pretty cool. But the specifics I will work out as I design it. But pretty straightforward, to be completely honest, and I'm okay with that. Sometimes simple designs are kind of the nicest. I kind of want to go with something like this, which has additional bracing and quite a wide base, and I like that because doing pull-ups, sometimes you get a bit of side wobble, and I don't want to tip over. So a wider base stabilizes the movement a little bit as you're using it. So I think I'll go with something like that. So that's probably good enough at looking at images. One like this is kind of a cool idea because you could fold it up, right? Like those the horizontal parts of the A frame itself look like you could take them out, or you could even have them be just a strong nylon strap, because if you're holding, your weight will force the legs outward and put tension through. So that's kind of a cool idea as well. Maybe I'll put a variant later on in the design, but I'll stick with something simpler. So what I'm going to do actually is make a quick little drawing now. May as well show you, because I had looking at those things gives me the idea. What I like to do if I'm doing stuff in the metal, out of metal, I like to reduce the number of unique parts and instead rely on copies of parts, if that makes sense. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm thinking of a design kind of like this, right? So the very basics, something like that, right? Where you're holding your hands here and you're pulling up that way, and this is the ground here. My design, I want to, if I do a side view, I want to have the vertical pull here, and I want to have the side piece be separate. So it'll have a bar like this, it'll have a little post like this, and either rod or a small tube doing the bracing like that, the cross brace. And then the front view of this, it'll have actually a side foot at the end, kind of like that. So if I do a skeleton of it isometrically, it'll look like this. Right, where this part is for the vertical, and this has rubber pads on it. If I need to put it in my apartment or something, you want to have rubber pads on it, kind of thing, so that it's not scuffing up the floor. So clear that. So that's part one, is the what do you call them, the anchors, right? And they'll look like this. And then part two is the probably the simplest components, is the posts. And what I want there is just a piece like that. I don't know why it's warning me about accessories. So I think I'm going to use probably a square post, and here it's going to have basically just a hole where the bar itself can be inserted. And then also probably what I want is 2 spots, maybe even 3 for bars, because you could start to do different things. And number 3, the third component is posts, the bars themselves. And so what I want to do there is have the bar like this with a slot cut here and here, and a I forget what this is called, but it has threads in it for a bolt. So the idea is the bolt itself goes through, and then this is inside there. So the idea is it's not welded, you can just bolt it right on there. So the only thing that gets welded is this here, welded. This is laser cut plus bolted. So there's only going to be 2 times frames here, 2 times this, and 1 or 2 bars there. So that's the basic idea. So to maybe add just one final little sketch here, it's going to look basically like this. You're going to have a post and a post. You're going to have a bar, and let's draw another one there. You're only going to have one in at a time, I think, unless you want to do some weird ladder type exercise where you could have a second one there, which incidentally makes me think that you could add for rock climbing related stuff, you could add a fingerboard type thing there over that, but that's a thought for another day. And then this is going to slot into these anchor frames like that. And then of course the rings themselves can hang from their straps, which you can put around like that, or around like that, whatever. So that's that. That's the design for the day. Now the cool thing is, the thing is, what I haven't added into my design library is any concept of tubes or weldments or anything like that. So what a weldment is in SolidWorks is basically exactly this. You create a 3D skeleton sketch, and then for each line that's drawn in that skeleton, you can assign a tube to it, and the tube has a profile, right? So a tube's profile could be, if it's a circular tube, it's got the OD and then the ID as parameterized by the OD and the thickness of the tube itself. And then you can have rectangular tubes which have, it's a very poor drawing, which have a T, a radius here for the bend radius is what that's called, and width and a height. So I'll see if I can come up with something intelligent for doing weldment related things as I design this. but that remains to be seen if I can actually do it entirely. So without further ado, I shall begin. So let's close this. We don't need this open anymore. This helped us out fine, and so here we go. So what I want to actually do is quickly write a bit of prose about the design I'm going to work on here. So let's see here. Gymnastic rings are an excellent pieces of gym equipment for bodyweight workouts and upper body strength training. They're also a lot of fun to use. I have to go here, visual line mode. There we go. It looks a little nicer, just a bit easier to read. It doesn't have the arrows pointing around, wrapping it over like that. A large tree branch can work wonderfully, but I don't have any trees in my apartment. Instead, I'll build a freestanding pull-up bar frame that can easily be used to hang rings from. This design assumes you have access to a metal shop perhaps a DIY friendly version can be produced soon. I don't need to put that in there. I'll just say it. Perhaps I could make a design doc that uses 2x4s and whatnot. Probably you don't even need, well, I'll figure that out. This design will use metal tubes and requires some welding. The main components are anchor weldments. So we've got anchor weldments, the posts, and the bars. The base design will require 2 of each. Yep, that's really all I need. The base design will require 2 of each. The intention, the entire setup can fit in the back. The posts and bars are use bolted connections. This means that the entire frame can be disassembled and transported in the trunk of a car, I think. So here, let's start with, well, what's the easiest thing to do? Posts. Let's start with the posts. Seems good. This, I wonder if this this preamble part here, if I should implicitly load in the draw thing so that I never have to put it in the file directly. Because it is a little annoying that I have to require it. Right? Like I could implicitly make a namespace declaration based on the file name. I don't know. I'll have to think about that another time. Pop that into my ideas spot in this document here. Ideas. Based on the file name of the file being rendered. Example, ring frame.md becomes namespace ring frame.doc or something like that, or a single, or just like that. Doesn't really matter. And always require stylo.draw refer all. Any additional the program will also look for existence of ring frame.clj, cljs, cljsc, and put a load file in as well. This eliminates the need for the user to specify namespace at the top of the markdown file themselves. This is good because it well, is it good? I don't know. It's an idea. I'll leave it in there for now. That's fine. Okay, so the posts. Let me create well, before I do posts, let's set up parameters. there are two parameters of interest to the builder, to the user. The height that the bar stands off the ground, and the right, so the height that the bar stands off the ground and the width of the bar. And then I want to make, I have an idea here. I want to make global parameters here. If I do define global parameters, right, as how do I want to do this? Well, okay, let's do so I might use an atom for something like this, but the way my library currently works is it reads the file and renders it at once, so you don't really need an atom to exist. You actually can just have a map, although def a atom, let's do height, and let's assume the height is going to be 8 feet, which is 12 inches, like that, and the width is just going to be let's assume the width is 4 feet. Right, so A is an atom. If I do at A, it gives me back the map itself. And if I do height at A, I get the height value. And if I do width at A, I get that value. So that might be a good idea to do it that way, because then, right, but alternatively, if I do the same thing here, but I call it B, and I don't use the atom function, I just leave it as a map, right? B is that map, and then it looks exactly the same, right? And since it's not a live app or anything, I don't really need to put it in an atom at all. So I think for right now, I'm just going to make it like this, parameters. Is parameters the right... Well, let's do... Yeah, let's leave it as parameters. That's good for now. Right, so I've described that I want the height 8 feet and the width to be 4 feet. Units, inches, so I'm just thinking about how I would want to display this in a reasonable way in the document, right? So for instance, if I right, what I can do, this is silly, but let's do the silly thing first. String parameters. If I do this, it should render into a paragraph tag the string of the map, of the parameters map here, which I have to save there. Right. The posts are width. There's that. There we go. Okay, so here, see, it just made a string of the map there. So I want to display it maybe in a table. That might be kind of cool. And what would be cool is if, right, so let me oh right, this is not currently connected to this REPL, but that's fine. Right, so if I just go ahead and do one of these bad boys, nice and simple. So if I do parameters, it's that. If I do units of parameters, inches, I'm thinking it might be smart to, well, I could also do parameters, right? You can do it that way as well. Nope. Oh, I thought that you could do that. That's strange. Or maybe it's not strange, I'm just thinking about it wrong. Right, anyway, let's forget that. If I do right, so what I want to do is display the actual equation and its value in a table, right? So parameter table takes P. Let me make it M. It takes a map, okay? And so the simple thing, or the first thing to do is, since I can just do this, I can make a table. Inside there is T head, right? T head, and wait, what is a valid? Ah, man, I always forget exactly how these tables work. Table example. Tables. Okay, here we go. T row. Oh, I'm thinking about it a little bit wrong. So if I do T row here, and then here is going to be TH, and this will be parameter and value. Doing it the simple way. And then here is another T row, right? No. Now here I would just do a for row of the map. Let's do it like this. KV from the map. You're going to create a TR that contains TD with K and oops, not what I meant to do. Like this. And another TD with the value like that. Let's see if that makes any sense. Let me do here parameter table parameters. Let's build that, and I will be back soon. I have to go to the washroom and get some water. All right, let's get back to it. Okay. Let's see if that actually rendered in a way that makes sense. Something broke. Parameter table doesn't exist in that context, eh? Okay, well, let's have a look. Maybe I didn't save it. I think that's all it was. Forgot to save. A classic mistake. I make it all the time. Oh, I realize I also... shoot. I've been using time tracking, and I just realized I forgot to turn on the timer for this, so if you give me just a moment to do that. Okay, so parameter value, there we go, that's working. What I want to do is have one more column in here that shows the equation itself. I think that might be pretty cool, because it could show dependence. But give me just a second here. And it, yeah. Yes. Okay. We're on track. No problems. No problems at all. Okay. Right, so these parameters, that looks pretty cool, I think. I mean, as a start, it's not bad. Right, the only thing that would be cool is if I instead do this, right, where they're quoted, what I would do here is parameter form, and then value here. I could add one thing here and do td is it eval? I think it's just eval, right? Yeah, I could eval the value. So if I save that, this should still, that should be what I want to appear here, but is that the smart way to really make... Oh, it also didn't work. I have to string v there. There we go. All right, so that shows the expression. I don't know if that's clean, but it's what I'm starting with. I am also going to string this so that you know the key is a key. Right, so if I make this rectangle now, right, if I do height parameters and width parameters, will it evaluate the values at some point in the chain? I think it might, but I have to check here because I don't remember, or I don't know, so it didn't work. Right, so if I inspect that rectangle element inside here, it should have weird values in it. Yes, it has the form in there. It didn't evaluate the form. So I don't know. I don't know what the smart thing to do is. If I def macro this, what happens now? Will it look equivalent? Don't know how to create a sequence from a symbol, right? Right, so the symbol is the word parameters here, right? So if I say that, I'm gonna have to put this in my REPL because I don't think I'm doing things in the smart way right now. Let's change it to def in here, map. Oh, shoot, how do I, there. I don't think that's the right approach either, but let's have a look at how that, let's see what happens there. Oh, and yeah, so this is still going to be wrong, but let's have a look. Okay, so the rectangle works. But of course here, right, so this makes total sense, right? I did a quote V, so it's just going to put the string of the symbol, so it's just going to print V into there. That totally makes sense that it would do that. Let's see here. There we go. Just got some spam messages. It's the first time that's happened. Let's hope it doesn't happen too much. That's a big pain in the tuchus. It's no good. Right, so let's see. What did I, oh, Right, this is gonna be way off, maybe. Let's see. Okay, right, so I'm just thinking through what to do about I wonder if I have I'm overthinking it for no reason. I'll just leave it be right now. Parameters will look like this. What does oh, no, it's like quote M ASDF A 2. Yeah, that's not correct. Does that mean anything? No. Right, that's meaningless. Okay, whatever. Is there a way to do this simply and smartly? Yes. Do I know it? Not at the moment. So let me just do this. I'll do not impl. Right, and you could do this sort of thing where, no, I'm just gonna leave that be. It might make sense to make parameters and add them after all, and then I have a little add parameter function, and then it takes the form and evals the form and puts the form into maps that make sense right away, and then I can pull values directly, perhaps. But I'm gonna leave it be for right now. Save it like that, just leave it. Save this and get to the design, because that's the thing, right? If I, on a design day, if I spend too much time working on library features and not enough time working on the design, that's kind of counter to what I intend for the day. So I'll just be fine with that for now and go ahead and start designing the posts. Okay, so the posts are dependent on the total height. They should fit inside the 1.5 inch square tube will be enough. Okay, so let's make a little figure here. What I want to do is create right, so post height. Ooh, how do you make a self-referential? See, that's interesting. Interesting. I should almost make a macro that's kind of like a let form, because a let form lets you reference, like you can sequentially make dependent things in as you go, and then produce the shoot. This is a little harder than I thought it would be, actually. Turns out. Well, let's actually, while I'm thinking about it, let's the real implementation is probably, yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Whatever. Whatever. Let's do it all like this. Let's do it like this. Units, inches. Right, okay. H W. Now post H, right? Now I can easily do is the total height minus let me just since this isn't implemented, I'll just get rid of that part of it. Call it good there. So the let here lets me try this one more time. Let's do like this, KV in bindings. What you're gonna do is oh, I'm doing this wrong. Keyword, I think, is what I meant. Yeah. Right, you do Okay, I'll finish this, see if it makes sense. If it doesn't work, then I'll move on. How do you, oh, there's a way to do this. It's not zip map, it's, let's see, let's go to the Clojure zip map. But there's, so it's not zip map, it's I forget what it is. Is it just zip? No. No, that's for tree things. It's different. Let's just look up Clojure core map and have a look. Clojure core. Where is that search? Let's go map. It's not hash map, is it? Hash map. Nope. There's gotta be something I'm forgetting here. Anyway, it is wasting my time, so we're gonna get rid of that for the time being. Put this here. So the post height, we're just gonna say is the height. I'm editing this in the wrong spot. Post H there. So the post height is height minus it's gotta be two. Let's see there. Okay, save that. Let's get rid of those there. What did I mess up here? Too many arguments to def. Oh. There we go. Should hopefully fix it. There we go. Right, so post height there. Right, and now we continue and do post cross section width. Right, we'll make it 1.5 inches. Post cross section height, we'll also make it 1.5 inches there. Let's make it params just because it's a little easier to type. We'll go with that. Okay, so we're actually gonna get to drawing something here, but I realized here def post cross section params, if I do that, up here, maybe I can make that a little I just realized I can kind of do, realized I'm going to try something a little different here. Def params, right, is just going to be without the let. Get rid of that, and I also no longer need those. I'm going to cut those, and here there. So post height, now I can reference height. Oh, let me start this over here. Right, so the post height is the global height, so height from params minus and I'm going to make the offset 2 inches in this example here. And these are just going to be values now. Right, so posts, the posts are made of tube and have their own parameters. Right, so here I can make parameter table of post params, and this is going to be post params. So and in fact, shoot, I goofed. Okay, there, post params is that, and post cross section params is I don't need to make long key names for this. Yeah. Right, so the width of this 1.5, the height 1.5, and the thickness, let's go with 0.83 inches, and the radius, let's make it 0.14. So these numbers seem like they come out of nowhere, but in my experience, that is actually the measures of a lot of common materials, and I can change them later, so they're just kind of close placeholders for the time being. Right, so parameter table of post params can have, oh, I should have a little should put all this in a div. Oop, not what I intended. There, in a div. Container, and it'll kind of look, it'll have this sort of idea here, div.figure, right? And then it'll have the table, and then after the table, it'll have the paragraph tag there, and it'll have the name, actually no, I'll do it this way, and I'll just do a let name be, oh wait, I don't need to put it in a let, that's silly. Let's do it like this, key global main parameters. This one will be post name post, and this one will be name post cross section. I have to check something, so be back soon. Okay. Right, so parameter table, name of M, save this, and see if I made the changes successfully. Yeah. Oh, this is a little silly that I double it here. Well, okay, for the time, that's fine. I can work out those little details later. It doesn't matter right now. I need to get the design going, get that out of my head a little bit. So in order to go about that, next step would be something like okay, let me have a look at let's make a function right. Tube will be, well, actually let's start with round tube because it's easier, and it's going to need a diameter and a thickness, and what it's going to do for me is let's imagine a radius of 1, and n is just going to be 24. Yes. Right, okay. So without changing the structure of things too much right now, we can make a round tube that has a let radius be divided, the diameter divided by 2, of course. That's fairly straightforward. And the inner radius, outer radius is d divided by 2, right? Then the inner radius is going to be outer radius minus thickness, right? Because, so the thickness exists twice, right? If it's a circle, you have the thickness on the left side and the thickness on the right side. So the inner diameter is the diameter minus 2 times the thickness. But if you're going by the radius, it's just going to be the outer radius minus the thickness. Very simple. So that's the inner radius. Oh, and this OR is OR, which is an actual function, right? So we shouldn't do that. We should just do that. Maybe. Names are hard sometimes. Then all we need to do is make a join of it's going to be a thread first macro of regular polygon of inner radius, and it's going to be precise to that. By precise, 24. So I'm cheating. I'm drawing circles with polygonal things, so it's straight edges. But if you have a lot of edges in there, it can look circular. So I'm cheating a bit at the moment. But hey, I'll take it for now. That'll be okay. So that's just going to be regular polygon there. Just thinking about, my brain's getting ahead of itself, thinking about other things. Right, extrude. Oh yeah, round tube has to have diameter thickness like this, and the length. Actually, let's not do it that way. We'll just do it like that. So the extrude is going to be this whole thing extruded along the length there. That's that. And then for the next part of the join, it's going to be regular polygon with radius 24 as well, and extrude also by the length. And that should produce a round tube. Yeah. So to try that, what I can do, well, first of all, let me test it out here. That makes any bit of sense. If that makes sense. Let's go here, round tube. Right, so let's def A as round tube. Let's give it a diameter of 2 inches and a thickness of 0.83, and we'll make it 10 inches long. Okay, so A has this big structure, which for now is fine. Oop, draw edges of A. Okay, there we go. So it will render something for me. So let's go ahead and do that into the document. So let's do the same thing here. So if we def A round tube 2.083 and 10. Let's do that. And instead of a rectangle with those parameters, we can just do A. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see if it works even a little bit or if it's a total garbage mess. My bet is on a bit of a garbage mess. Let's see if this contains actual, yeah, okay, so there's something, right, that didn't work. Try something else. Hey, it did not work. Oh, right, because that is interfering with hiccup. Still wrong. Nope, I didn't have to do this. Yeah, still wrong. Boy, how did I do parallels? Let's have a look at I use a different function draw, just recursive. Oh, I didn't, of course, I didn't even call draw edges. What? Apparently my brain's a little slow today. That is, that's my bad. Hey, you know what? That's the way it goes. I'm gonna be fine with that because maybe that's still, okay, there we go. So you can't see it because it's scaled way down, but it's rendering because now I'm using the right function. Let's put a CAD view in there and scale it to 10. Did something wrong. Oh, that's right. This CAD view function is different than the figure function. It doesn't require me to call the draw directly. It assumes that you're just giving it an object. Don't know if that's the smart approach. Okay, but now we've got figures actually rendered in there, so that is a step in the right direction. Let's add to the height and let's pop that in a little bit here. The isometric view isn't very revealing here in this case. But let's bump the scale up to 14. Okay, well, that's a good start. So that is round tube. Let's now go ahead and make rectangular tube. Yeah. And that is going to need ooh, it might be cool to have a generic tube function that takes any given cross section, but then it's basically just an extrude of a sketch anyway, so that, okay, won't worry about that for now. We're gonna need a width and a height, width, height, thickness, radius, length. We'll just go with that for now. And we do a join, and we'll start simple here and do, oh, I goofed already. It's construction outside and things are going wild. Let's join thread first of polygon 2D, and that's going to be a list of points. Wait a second, actually let me check. Rectangle. If I do a 2-2 rectangle, does it center it around? I don't think I do any centering tricks here. Oh no, because that's not what I'm after. If I do regular polygon, the radius of it, oh no, that'll make a diamond. It'll make a square rotated 45 degrees, so that's not what I need. Oh, something's going weird. I think my tab key got stuck or something like that. That's my bad. Okay. I kind of want to, just for fun of it for now, rotate it . Let's see what that looks like for a minute. Okay, so Z's the wrong one to rotate. It's probably around Y. No visible change, right? But if I rotate about Y, I think, yeah, there, that's what I wanted. That's a more interesting view. Okay, so doesn't really matter all that much. but here this approach I have here, where I've got this map of nodes, edges, and faces, I need to fix it. I started looking into using graphs as like the data structure for this instead, and I might go ahead and try to do something like that, where the graph is just showing solids. A solid is a node, and then an edge of the graph would be out to one of the faces that defines the solid, and edges out to all the faces, and then each face is a node as well, and then the curves that make up the faces are nodes, and there's edges to each of those, on and on and on. So then the leaves of the end nodes are points or vertices, and if I use a graph structure and a pre-existing graph library with good algorithms, then maybe I could get a better approach to this instead of a half-assed map that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me anyway. So that needs to be fixed. So I'm just making a little helper here that does all it's going to do is return 4 points. Length divided by 2, width divided by 2. It should be width and height, I think. It doesn't matter really, but width and height. Like that. Starting at the bottom left, width, height, half, half, going over to negative. Well, let's actually copy this. Right, so these ones are negative, negative, going over to positive in the width, negative in the height, and then positive in the width, positive in the height, and back to negative in the width, positive in the height. So that uh-oh, have I messed something up here? Shoot, I did. I must have. What's going on? Something went weird here. Oh, it's this here. Shoot, what is it? Control Q, there. Okay. And here as well. Okay, now, Ay, 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 ay. What a day. I'm having a day today. Okay, there. So we've got the bottom corner, next corner, next corner, next corner there. It's a list, or a vector, I should say. Rectangle points. There. Now, polygon 2D of rectangle points with height, right? Extrude by the length. And then join that with polygon 2D of rectangle points of width minus times 2 thickness and height minus 2 of the thickness as well. See if that actually worked. Let's go width of 2 and a height of 3, thickness 0.83. Let's imagine a radius of 0.14. It's not currently used, but that's okay. And extrude it by 10. That should be fine. Let's save that and see if it works. Messed something up. Minus W. Oh, yeah, of course. I am doing this wrong. If I do this, yes, I think that's right. Okay. Let's give it a go. Still something wrong. Wrong number of args 1 passed to rectangle points. Something went wrong with my indentation here. I'm not surprised. I really did goof this part up. Okay, so now let's fix it, because that's better to have it fixed, of course. Right, so rectangle points there has the width and the height. And that should be good there. So if I close that, and something's still wrong. Nope. Okay, there we go. Extrude. Did I even write the extrude there? I don't remember. Okay, let's try that. Let's have a look at that. There we go. We got something. Okay, so we can use this. What I haven't done, as you can well, let me instead of zooming this browser in like crazy, I shall instead make this scale 20. There we go. Right, so you can kind of see it. I'll still zoom it in a little bit. That the points are just straight points. They don't have a radius on them there. For the sake of getting the design going further yet, I won't worry about that right now. Because I don't need to, or I don't want to have to worry about it at the moment. What I will need is a similar thing here, def bar cross section params, and that's going to be a map with name bar cross section params. It's going to have a diameter of 1.315 and a thickness of 0.18. And def bar params should be name bar params, and the width of the bar, or the length of the bar I should say, will be the width of the global params minus 2 times the thickness of the post cross section, because I want to butt the bar up against the inside of the one wall of the post itself. So I need the bar to be less than the total width of the thing as dictated by the post position there. Now that's going to change because what I haven't done is drawn the anchor widths, and actually instead of doing it relative to the thickness, what I will do is minus, instead of 2 times, it'll just be minus the width of the post cross section, so that it's in the center of the posts. That's the width. Yeah, that'll be good. Oh, in which case, if I define, no, it'll have to be, actually, it'll have to be the global width plus the width of the post params minus two times the thickness. And that's hard to describe. It'll make more sense in a drawing, so I'm not gonna try to explain it. Well, other than, okay, so if I define globally the big, like the main width as the center to center distance between the posts, and I need the bar to extend to the to the edge of the posts, I need to add to the length of that bar half of the width, half of the post on the left side plus half the post on the right side. So that's one total post post cross-section width minus the thickness on each side of the post, so minus 2 times that. So it's a little bit wacky, but hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Right, so then length of the bar params, I can use that to go. Oh, I'm not drawing that at the moment, but it will be important. Hey, Dr. Zonk, how's it going? You doing all right? Let's do you up to anything fun at the moment, Dr. Zonk? Hey, Zertroniker, good to see you again. How's it going? You guys were in the group playing some games last time, is that right? You doing that again? Okay, so this piece now. Ooh, how am I going to draw this? So the post height is set. Well, let's go ahead and make def post. Okay. If I define a post as a rectangular tube of 1.5 by 1.5, 083, the height that extrudes to is going to be the height of the post params, and then I can CAD view post there, and then figure 2 is going to be how did I do that last time? I did parallels static I don't remember how this looked. Ugh. Parallels static. Okay. Right, so the first figure I had was here, and I did draw edges recursive on the assembly. Yes, so if I do just like that, draw edges recursive of the post, let's see how that looks, because I don't know how that's gonna look. Oh, I have to also figure 2. Okay, figure. It's gonna have dimensions. Let's do, yeah, 300 by 700. Scale, let's do 20 again. That's fine. Dimensions of post part. And what I'm going to do in here is move 4 as a start, draw edges, recursive, post. Okay, let's see how that looks. If I kill that, and here, I go back here. Right, so figure 1 is not a placeholder figure anymore. It is CAD view of post part, and then dimensions of post part. The posts are made of square tube and have their own parameters. Right, so we have the post, and then we have the post cross-section params. There, below are CAD and dimension figures for the post part. Figure 1, figure 2 can be put right after it. It broke. Fig 1, figure 2. Oh, that's right. I do need something like that. I wonder if that'll work. Yes, it does. Okay. So this post part here, I have to rotate it. Oh, no, that's in the wrong spot. About the y-axis, I think. Let's try that. I'm gonna go fill up my water for a second. I won't be long. Rotate it around the wrong thing. I'll be right back, though. All right. Let's rotate it that way instead. Because what I need is the view of it to be vertical. or well, I don't need it, I do want it to be that way though. And of course I have to now move it vertically down quite a bit. Let's make the scale half the size. See if that shows up in any meaningful way or in any useful way. Okay, we're getting somewhere. It's just, the post is, that's always going to be, that's one annoying or frustrating thing with CAD design anyway. If you're using really long sections of tube, it can be hard to properly show everything in your view. And I should build some view, like what's it called? A split view? No, it's a view where like there's a squiggly line in it, so instead of showing the full length of a long piece, it cuts it off and then shows only the top and bottom of it, so it's a shorter end. But I don't have the solution for that yet, so let me just go move this one 100. Let's have a look at that. Oh. Okay. Now we've got something to work with here. Let's put it back to 95. Let's see if that works. If it does, what I might do, yes, okay. So here's what I'll do with that. I'm gonna actually make this scale about 30 or so, and I'm gonna make this a shorter thing there. Okay. This CAD view, I don't really think I need it, so I am gonna take it out for the time being. Right, so what I want to do is cut a hole in this face here. And what I'll do, actually this here, this post definition can be, oh, not that. Join there. Okay. So I can join that rectangular tube there, and here I'm gonna do a join. Okay, so it's gotta be thread first, a regular regular polygon. The radius is going to be divided by 2 the diameter of bar cross section params here. with 24 edges so it looks like a circle. That's good for now. And then you got to run that through an extrude, and it's going to be extruded to be the by the thickness of the post cross-section params. And then the last thing you got to do is move that whole thing over to got to move it let me think. Actually, I have to rotate it first. Rotate that whole thing. And I'm going to rotate it. So right now, it's a cylinder that's going to be the hole, and it's facing up in the Z direction. So I need to rotate it about Y, 90, and then it'll be facing, it should be facing then in the X direction, or it should be like along X. So that should be good, and that means I can move it in the X direction half. Boy, oh boy. If I rotate it -90, then I should be able to move in the X direction by half of the post cross-section height, the height of the post cross-section params. That's the X. The Y will be 0, and then the Z will be, let's do from the top of the post, right? So the height of post params minus 2 inches. I have no idea if that'll show up in the right position. Let's find out. Should be fun to see. Should be fun to see if I did it correctly. Something went wrong? Or not? Well, okay. Let me, if I have oops. Oh, I'm trying to call it like a function. It's not a function. Silly. Oh, sure. Let's fix this here. We do a thread first of the post, rotate it by ISO Euler. No, let's do, I think I have to do it this way. 90, 0, 0, and rotate iso Euler angles like that. And then this gets deleted. Okay, let's have a look. Let us see what's what here. It's totally gone. What have I done? See there. Bum 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 ba da ba. Okay. Let's try that. Oh, there we go. Okay. We've got a hole. Let's go maybe 5. Cool. Okay, that's actually very encouraging. So that does mean let me think about this. If I instead do this, hide that Euler angle there, rotate this, I think this set of rotations will, so it'll look head on the tube and rotate it so I can see the hole on the face. I might be wrong about that. Oh, that's right. Let's try this. We've got to move it again. There we go. Okay, wrong axis. Okay, but that's pretty cool that actually shows up. Okay, so now what I want to do is, I think that hole is maybe too big for the post size, right? It doesn't, I don't think it's actually gonna, it's just too close to the wall thickness there. So this diameter, I have to make it smaller here. Yeah, even that's not good. Let's assume, let's try 1 inch. Let's see if 1 inch will look okay. It's not bad. I have an idea though, because I do like the 1.315 thickness. It's good for pull-up grips and stuff like that. So what I want to try now actually is change the parameters here. One of them is going to be well, let's see what it looks like with a 2-inch square post. Let's have a look at that. I don't think that changed properly. Where did I define the post function here? Ah, okay. I forgot I hard-coded it in there, which is not what I should have done. That would be my bad. Yes, let's go. Right, so this is radius post params. This one is thickness post params. This one is height. Oh, post cross section params. Ooh, I am messing something up here. Get back. Oh right, rectangle tube. This is the cross section stuff, and this is the length of the tube itself. Okay, so I was actually, that was okay. So let's go width post cross section params, height, thickness of the post cross section params, and here we've got radius of the post cross section params. Okay, let's have a look at that. That should now change the width of this. There we go. So that's a 2 square. If I make the looking in the wrong spot. Here, post cross section params, if I make the height 1, right, so it's a 2 by 1 rectangular tube, will that look better? I should see no change. If I'm thinking about the if this is on the right face, I shouldn't see a change. If it's on the wrong face, it's on the wrong face, so it'll look weird like that. So actually, that does indicate that I have to change how I approach this. Okay. Okay, here we are. I just need to change how that circle is positioned or located, and that is here in the post, so that's a hole. This part here is the whole of it, and I have a rotate -90 on the around the Y here, and that is incorrect. If I eliminate that, where does that move it to? Oh, of course. Well, 0, 0. Let's try that. Okay, I really do need to clean up. I'm gonna need to put in debug things here. I also have to move it now. If I just move it 0, how does that look? There we are. Okay, good. Right, so for this view, let's put in a right, so I've got the draw edges recursive here. Let me put in a dimension from position height of post params down to height post params 2 inches beneath that. Let's see if that actually is correct, and let's see how the dimension renders, because I'm not sure if it'll render nicely or if the font size will be all weird. Ooh, pardon me. Divide by 0. Yes, of course. I have this problem too. Right, so that's related to my lazy implementation of dimensions. I have when you have a dimension it is very much in the wrong spot. Okay. Okay, that's right. This should be let's say about 4, and this should be also about 4. Anyway, the divide by 0 problem is my dimensions, when they're perfectly vertical like that, there's a divide by 0 in the code that checks the normals and stuff like that, and I just was lazy, so that's an obvious problem to fix. As I use this library to actually make design documents, I'm really happy that I am able to create design docs, but I'm unhappy with the brittle nature of how it is, and the repetitiveness of coming up, and it just, a lot of design things need to be streamlined for me to really be happy with the library, and for me to want to show it and let other people use it, you know. Like, it's just really in prototype mode still, if I'm totally honest about it. But the ideas as I use it are coming more and more, which I'm happy with. So that's a good thing. Let's just make the figure really big so I can see what's happening, at least a little bit. Huh. I don't know where the dimension is. I thought it would be, I thought it would actually show up properly on there, but evidently that is not the case. Where are you? Okay, let me do this. Dimension 0, 0, dimension 10, 10. Okay, let's try that and see where it shows up. Oh. Is that gonna work? Let me see. Okay, there we go. We've got a dimension for the whole post, which is nice. Probably that's really too tall, but I'll leave it there for the time being. And let's make another one. Okay, now this one is going to be on the other side. So we do it this way. And it's just going to be 0 to minus 2 inches h post params. Let's have a look at that. Yes, okay, so that is the dimension that I kind of care about at the moment. So let's pop this back to sort of what I was, well, let's zoom this in. Maybe we can keep the drawing the way it is. I'm not going to print it on paper, so it kind of doesn't matter that it's a big vertical like that. It might be okay. I do dislike that. I'm gonna need to fix. Okay, so it doesn't fit all the way anymore. Might as well do this. actually, let's try 12. No, let's try exactly 1,000 pixels, like that. Okay, that cuts it off. Fix the divide by 0 problem. Implement fix for dims displaying wrong with small dims. Example, 2 inches doesn't display cleanly. I also need to fix show the axes so I know what directions things are pointing. Critical to-dos. Redo SVG element wrappers. Make the function names obviously only for creating hiccup data to be compiled into an SVG element. That's a problem that I had. I also have, oh yes, create macro or smoother system for showing / creating parameter maps. Oh yeah, I also have to get rid of old renderable object map idea. Example, see what right, so what regular polygon emits is not well designed. Okay, so those are a bunch of things I discovered I need to fix. A lot of work, a lot of work, but that's totally cool. That is fine with me. Oh yes, and another feature I would really like is auto dimension function. Oh, also fix dimension function is built in a 2D sense. Make dimensions 3D elements. that can be displayed in all orientations. What else did I run into that was kind of a pain? Oh yeah, figure should have auto centering so that I don't have to mess around with move. Manually. What else? There was another thing. Oh yeah, parameter table function should also show the form, the S expression, to show how values are derived. There were other features or things I needed to fix too. What were they? Create proper structures, abstractions for sketches. Create proper structures, abstractions for solids, right? So sketches, 2D stuff basically, solids, 3D stuff. And right, so this is very deliberately create a clean separation with SVG drawing between SVG drawing and creating / transforming sketch and solid elements. So keep in general, imagine a situation where you cannot render to SVG but still want the ability to create and transform solids and sketches. Example, if you want to render to WebGL 3D context or create an exporter, the SVG stuff must not be there. Whatever. Okay. That's that. Oh yeah. Create tube functions taking in a cross section. Make chamfer / radius function for corners where edges meet. In both 2D and 3D. Update extrude function. This is related to update extrude function is necessary when I fix this here. Update extrude function to accept whatever new approach is used. Okay, so those are the notes on things I have to fix in the library. As for the design of this thing, that's the thing I didn't get to today. Make a weldment function. Weldments as lists of 3D lines and their cross sections. Intersection calculations for cut shapes. Example, chamfering tubes butted together. So that weldment thing is actually going to be really hard, but that'll be a fun one to do. Okay, so I have a little bit of work finished here. I know exactly the things I need to draw next. I know the functions I need to add next here, and the functionality, and I know a whole list of things that I need to fix. I have the post here. I've got the next, so posts and bars are relatively easy to make, and the anchor thing will be easy once I have the weldment stuff in place. So I have a lot of good stuff that I can use to go ahead. So on that note, I am going to make sure I've saved all these changes, and I'm actually going to sign off for the day. Pretty casual stream today, but I had a good time actually, thinking about the design, thinking about how to make the library work for me in a better and better way. Prototyping out some tube functions, which is really nice. That does remind me, I do need to make actual join cut operations. Yeah, so I'm gonna get going. I had a good day. Actually, I feel pretty good about my work here. Not much to show, but a lot to think about for me and a lot of stuff to do next, which is great because I have the day off tomorrow and I stream again on Thursdays and Fridays, so should be a lot of fun. And I am going to go now. Hope everyone is having a good time. Before I do go, if anyone is watching this after the fact on Twitch or on YouTube or anything like that, thanks so much, especially for sticking through to the end, or if you skipped ahead to the end, that's cool too. I love streaming and I love this design and programming work that I'm doing. I will need to keep it going, or I want to keep it going, and I will sooner rather than later need support in terms of engagement and opinions on direction, encouragement of what works, pointing out what doesn't, that kind of stuff. So if you're if you feel so compelled to leave comments, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, please go right ahead and do that. It's very helpful to me. It's very encouraging to me because it's positive signal about what works and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks. I'm going to get going. Have a good one. Goodbye.